I did not have a listening relationship with that program, the lounge program. But if I did, I would most certainly have someone advise me not to share that with the public, meaning you.
It's The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle, two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk and are somehow able to tolerate each other. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well. Here's Rob and Bob.
Dun, dun. Thank you, Charlie. That's Charlie on the piano. Let's have a round of applause for
a round of applause.
Chuck.
Sign says applesauce.
We call him Chuck. And who are we? Well, I'm Bob Doyle, just like it correctly says for a change on the screen for some reason.
On the screen. You punched all the right buttons today. And I'm Rob Scott, and I'm in Atlanta.
That's
and
right.
Let's see.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yes,
One more nanosecond delay, and I would hit it on my end, and it would have sounded like this.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Yeah. It is. Well, it's 6 o'clock where Bob is. It's 9 o'clock here.
That's right. Because
What? Go.
What?
Huh? We weren't here last week. We weren't here last week.
We're all rusty. Oil can, am I right?
Oil can, right. You have no heart.
Oh, that's harsh. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Dumpling is in the house.
Yeah. First one, Dumpling goes in the hopper.
He can now change his name, and he still hasn't.
Why?
May I suggest Jason? There's one I'm just coming up with at the top of my head.
All right.
So yes, last week we were not here again.
Oh. Yeah, we've only done two. The lounge has only been open like twice all year.
It does well. That's all right. That's right. Last week we had an event in our home in my other life, a brain rewiring, which was so we had 5 people in. 2.5 days. First one of those that Tracy and I had hosted, and Tracy went, as you would imagine, above and beyond to create this, because all the meals were included. So and you've seen
what? All the meals were included?
Yes, and you've seen what she does when she puts out. So if we have morning, breakfast, lunch, and dinner all prepared, and she, did all that. And anyway, that was amazing. So it was a good event. So that was that. And
you had company for overnights, couple overnights.
No, they did not spend the night. No, they had accommodations. No, that would have been too stressful. That's too much.
Okay. I was just thinking, wow, yay on you two, because I don't know that I could have done. Well, of course you can do it. I don't know that.
Yeah, but no, that's way too draining. And we want to be able to do this regularly. We were going to originally do it quarterly, and honestly, we're thinking it's all about filling it now at this point, the marketing it, but we're ready to do it monthly, I think, and not forever, but like a year or something, like commit to just say, okay, this is my head's down, because it's good for everybody, and it's
sure.
And then so that was fun, and then the rest of the week I was only out for 2 days, but some sort of stomach bug came in. Luckily, it was after everybody had all left, and Tracy got it first, and we thought of food poisoning because those were the symptoms. So you get the idea of what we were dealing with. There she is now in the house with 3 hearts.
There you go.
And so she dealt with that.
So she has 3 hearts and 3 names. She has a name for every heart there. It's a triple name on the billboard on the marquee. Yes, she's in the house. And but now Samantha's not here yet. Maybe she won't be. I don't know. But she came over today. I helped her with her homework, which I can't remember the last
what was
time I
the
got
subject?
She had to do a presentation, a video presentation, public speaking.
Oh, okay.
So
kind of know that algebra.
No, I would have said, go see your mother. I have no idea how that works. But no, so and put together a quiche. I haven't made a quiche in probably 10 years. And I came to realize today they're very easy.
Oh yeah, God, I went through a phase. I know, like when I moved into when I first moved to Vegas, it seemed like I got some quiche recipe from somewhere, and I was like, this is super easy.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. And you can put anything.
Do anything with it.
Right, it's like an omelet. Whatever you want to put in there, fine. Go
ahead. Who's going to stop you? Who?
Tell me. No.
Who's going to come in and say,
quiche police?
Oh, I like the sound of that, though.
The quiche police. It's tough to say. Be careful. You can get your tongue twisted up there in a hurry. The quiche police.
You could say police.
Police, right? Anyway, I saw spinach and ham and cheddar cheese and blah, 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 and poof, a wonderful quiche.
Sounds lovely.
And I helped her. And helped
her with
her homework. Judy.
It wasn't when I first moved here. Sorry, I just had the flash of what it was. Judy, our friend Tracy and I, friend Judy. I think she had a quiche recipe or something. I'm almost certain. Correct me if I'm wrong, Tracy.
I don't know if you're wrong.
No, Tracy. I'm asking Tracy to correct me.
Oh, and she's of course listening to hanging on every syllable of the lounge.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes
lounge marketing today. Did you put out any lounge marketing today? Because I looked for some and I didn't.
I did,
okay,
but it was like at 4 or 3:30 or something. It was later in the day. I had a full day today. Yeah, it was Judy.
It was Judy. She said, "Did you make money? Were you productive and prosperous?"
Today was already paid. So far, it was already paid for stuff. In other words, it was my weekly coaching people that I always do on Saturday mornings. And then it was the follow-up call from cartoons. And then it was the follow-up. And then later we had the follow-up call from the people who were here last week. And then there was a segment that we didn't get to because some schedules got rearranged and people had to leave early. So we had to take out a big chunk, which I did live today. See,
that sounds painful.
Yeah. And then, and now this.
Here we are.
What a day.
What a day. David Crosby passed away. I just wrote it on my thing. I know it sounds like a morning show bit, but it's a bummer because I saw him and he was really cool. And he was a good songwriter, and it's Crosby, Stills, Nash. Now it's just Stills and Nash.
I didn't know that. Didn't hear that.
Oh yeah, David Crosby. Actually, 81, 82, something like that. I don't know how old, but my goodness, the life he lived, he should have probably never made it through 50.
Drew that, Smitty.
Yeah, so Drew that Smitty. Boo, that said. See, Tracy didn't know. So anyway, yeah, David Crosby. I saw him in fact, I met him. I met him in New York. I met all three in New York and interviewed them, and that was kind of cool.
Well, that is pretty cool. That's a nice little notch on your belt. And you met Bill Murray. What more do you want?
I met Chubby Checker, too, on that same run that I met Crosby, and Little Richard, and Stevie Ray Vaughan signed an autograph for my sister. In fact, I think I've told you this story, but I'm out in New York for the Grammy Awards, and we're doing this. There's a morning show from every market, and we happen to be from Milwaukee, and so blah blah blah. And Stevie Ray Vaughan came to our table, and my sister Pamela had just gone through her divorce, and her life was upside down, and Stevie Ray had just gone through a recovery program for heroin addiction. So he was clean. He had been clean for a bit, kind of came through a tough time. My sister was kind of coming through a tough, and I said, would you sign this 8x10 for my sister, which he did. And then I saw him play that night, which was wild and great. I got to see him live in this little club. Anyway, I got that home to her, and then 2 weeks later, helicopter crash, and he passes away.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Pretty, wow. But anyway, David Crosby, met him on that same trip, and was Stephen Stills. And Stephen Stills, as I recall, was very drunk, but memory could be wrong here. And I also met Donald Fagen in a bar off of Central Park that same trip. He was just sitting at the end by himself, and that we were like the only two in the bar.
And what did you? I'm sure you've told me this, but what did you? You said something.
Well, I'm looking down the bar, and I'm going, that looks like Donald Fagen from Steely Dan. I mean, it really looks like him. And so I look at the bartender and I go, is that? And he goes, yes. Like I didn't even finish the sentence. And I said, I'm assuming he wants to be left alone. That's why he comes here. This was an out of the place, out of the way. It wasn't on the main drag, just this little bar. And so I didn't bother him. I finished my drink though. And when I left, I had to say at least, love your music, big fan or whatever. Did the stupid little thing.
What do you do in those situations?
Well, I didn't want to bother him. It's like
I totally get that, but it's like that one.
I was at Disney one time, and Billy Joel and Christy Brinkley walked by. No joke. Kim had gone to the bathroom or something. I'm sitting in Frontierland, and just walked by me as Billy Joel and Christy Brinkley.
Wow.
And so I followed them for a little bit. Oh, Lucy's here. And
she heard me yell, and then she came.
And so anyway, the point is, I walked in a gift shop or something, Christy Brinkley and Billy Joel, and I was like 2 aisles over looking at Mickey Mouse watches or whatever. And they had kind of an escort with them. And so I said to the guy, "Are people bothering them?" And he goes, "No, they're like you. They'll keep a distance, kind of look." Of course, this was before cell phones. You probably
Oh my
couldn't
God.
go and yeah. So everyone and their brother would be taking pictures even from 40 feet away with the zoom and everything.
Pretending like they're checking something else. I'm absolutely not taking a picture of you covertly.
No, I'm not. It's 98 degrees in Orlando. Just checking again. 98 degrees.
Oh.
Yeah, they would do that.
Hold on. Weekend special. I got to get ready.
Oh.
No, I got to get ready.
Oh.
I'm ready. Okay, I'm ready.
I'm sorry. Okay.
Weekend special.
49 degrees in Henderson. High expected of 56 tomorrow, 34 degrees tonight. It's going to get Chelsea, so leave those windows closed.
Yes, bring in the plants and the pets. Bring them in. And leave your water dripping. Let it drip, drip, drip.
That's some.
That one always killed me as a Wisconsin guy, and you come down to it, leave your water dripping. What the freak is that? We had never heard of that, and it's real cold where we're from. That always wow. And what's with the bread and the milk? They're a run on bread and milk.
Okay.
No, it is. It's like I remember being caught in this one ice storm, and I'm driving home, and Clark Howard's on. Oh, Scott Slade is retiring, by the way.
Really?
Yes, WSB's morning host for 30,000 years, and very talented.
And what's the number really? He came on board.
Oh, got to be over. Well, he came on when I got there in '91. That show was already up and running.
Oh, okay. Now I watched that transition from Bobby and Kathy,
right?
To actually, was it Kim and Miriam for a while without, or do you know? You don't know. That was before.
When I got there, it was Scott doing what he's still doing today. That news wheel has not changed since at least 1991,
and which is insane,
brilliant
for people who
brilliant.
Care about.
If it isn't broken, but if it isn't broken, it's a perfect example of but just by dumb luck, they just didn't F with it, and it worked and worked and worked. Good on them.
And Slade's story, I love that. I mean, he did that helicopter stuff for so long, waiting for the opportunity. And then they gave it to him, and he freaking knocked it out of the park from day one.
He crushed it. And in fact, yes, he just crushed it. And now he's not only is he very good and got great numbers, great ratings, but he also earned a very nice living too.
I'm sure after all of this time, yeah.
He flies planes. Anytime someone's hobby is planes, I go, that's that different level. That's up there. That's like I have horses. When people say, yeah, I have horses. Yeah. And I go, okay, it's $650,000 a horse, and then you have to stable it and feed it and have the vets and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Like they have horses at like 3-4
I have
million,
a boat.
I have a boat. Right. Where a helicopter lands on it in the Mediterranean. He flies planes, and so he's stepping down, Mr. Slade. So first Kirk Mellish and then Scott Slade. See, Kirk started.
Wow. So I wonder who's going to succeed.
Yeah. I have no idea.
Like who's going to fill those shoes? And now we are absolutely talking where literally nobody, has any connection to what we're talking about at all.
Here's the connection. You want to know the connection, boys and girls? Okay. I'll tell you. Bob and I met at this station of which we are spinning yarns. Bob was the morning show producer on the AM side. I was the morning show producer on the FM side. And now all these years later, we're doing this ridiculous.
That's right. Keep in mind, we're two veteran broadcasters who love to hear themselves talk. Let's see. And somehow tolerate each other or something. Let's see if you can tolerate them as well.
That's right.
Here's Rob and Bob. And we gave Rob top billing because
I don't know why.
Because I don't know, he just hearkened, to me, I think the reason I did it is because you are, how do I put this? No, it has to do with I think your broadcast roots, something about that. They're like more than mine. So I give you full.
That is interesting. Talking to again now that we're.
Although I shouldn't say that because genetically my broadcast roots run way deeper.
Way deeper.
But I think maybe your job history.
I was talking actually.
It was just because you're older than me, and I feel sorry for you because I just put your.
I'm never going to get this story. Randy Cook said that to me the other day. He said we will both retire, having done our entire career behind a microphone.
Yeah.
And I thought about that, and I go, hey, that is something. Like, a lot of people don't do the whole.
Does this count? What I do?
Well,
yeah, voiceover, right? I get to say the same thing.
Sure, you can.
Okay.
You've earned a living behind a microphone so far. Now, if you don't do any VO anymore and you do, but I suppose you're coaching, but that's virtual. So I wouldn't say, but broadcast. We're still doing audio that goes out into the radio world, and we have since when I started in 1980. Come next month, which is a few days away, I will have been in broadcasting for 43 years.
Wow. I haven't done that math. 85. So I should be able to, but that's.
Well, then subtract 943, something like 37 or somewhere around there, 38.
Some meager pittance of a career.
No, but I'm just thinking, that was WUEC Eau Claire, 89 FM, right?
WRFC, AM stereo, 960.
There it is.
AM stereo.
Clock on the wall. That was Clock on the Wall. That was WUEC. Yeah. And so now that's all these years later, and they still, someone somewhere is managing to give us a buck or two to talk into a microphone. And there's something to be said. That speaking of February coming up, since this is a split, it'll be between lounges.
So did you turn pro with that belly button thing, Ned, or
no,
what?
Phil? I sell insurance.
What a shock!
There it is. That's coming up this week.
So you're right, and I think it seems like last year it landed on this, and we didn't do anything. I feel like I feel like we've had a show. There was some broadcast that I know that I suddenly realized, we've missed an opportunity.
Yeah. For those who don't know what date is coming up in the middle of next week.
It's Groundhog Day.
It's still just once a year, isn't it?
That's right. It's just once
a year. You met him.
I did meet him. You're not Rob Scott. I know the Rob Scott. I've been to robscott.org. I love that he said .org. He could have gone .com. No, he went .org.
.feds.
Yeah. Right. And he's shaking me by the shirt collar. And that was pretty wonderful, actually. Yeah. I really wish there would have been a picture. Although I have a picture, the stock photograph, the PR photographer photograph with their name.
Getty Images on it? Okay. Or
no, but it says, the Murray Brothers charity, blah, 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 stamped on there. But okay. And then I also met him at the turn when we played golf the next day. We were going through the clubhouse to get a beverage, and he was just sitting there all by himself, maybe with his agent or something, some woman. Point is, it wasn't like there's an entourage and he was doing some woo. He's just sitting there in a bar with a floppy hat, having a soda, I think. And my buddy Mark took a selfie with him. I did not. I just don't do that. I remember hearing a story one time about Paul Newman having had some guy ask for his autograph while he was standing at the urinal.
Ugh.
And I remember thinking, don't ever be that guy.
Yeah, can I write it in urine?
Yeah, and that's when he said he stopped giving out autographs. Like they had obviously crossed the line. Let the man go to the bathroom in peace. That's just too. And nowadays, again, coming back to the cameras on the phones and everything else. But
so Tracy says our audio is skipping, which, given the catastrophe that was this pre-show, would not surprise me. It was a real broadcast news thing, ladies and gentlemen. Everything went wrong, and no audio was working, and it didn't work in several different ways. And then finally, at the very last second, we said, okay, I hear you, you hear me, we're going fade to black, go. But if it is bad, then that sucks. Somebody else confirm if there is a somebody else. Okay.
I can hear you guys fine.
Fine, okay, so.
All right, so something else on my list here. You know me, I'm tolerably handy. I'm not looking for a bit here. But I know a few things around the house. I can change run some Romex, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the point is, I had no idea until this past week that dishwashers have a filter. Did you know this?
A filter that needs to be changed.
No, that you clean, that you take it out and run it under warm water. And
I think I had to do that a lot in California because it would mess up all the time.
I just had no idea it makes sense they would have a filter. There was water running through it and draining and everything. And I don't know why. And I cleaned it once I found out.
I don't know if they all have it? I don't know.
I think so. Different kinds.
I haven't done anything with ours here.
You go to YouTube, punch in, like for me, I have a Kenmore. I punched in Kenmore dishwasher filter cleaning, and there's 40 YouTubes. What I always find interesting about the guys who shoot these YouTubes at home, these YouTube videos, is that one guy showed me how to clean the filter in a minute, 60 seconds. And there was another guy who had like a 14-minute. And I'm going, how can you kill 14 minutes? This is a minute's worth of information.
So you know why they do that, right? Because after a certain amount of time, you have to go a certain amount of time to get monetized. And so they talk, I think it's like 8 minutes or something, somewhere like that. And so they got to talk up history, and this is how you die, but it's so annoying, right? I just want to learn. I so appreciate the ones where it's just like, hey guys, here's how you do the thing, boom, and they're gone in 47 seconds. It's like recipes. When you go to a recipe and you have to hear the life story of everybody. Oh, my grandmother used to make this, and da 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 da, and down at the very freaking bottom, after ad, and that's why they do it. They just
put peanut butter on one piece of bread and jelly on the other.
Jam them together.
Piece it together.
For fun, add bananas.
Okay, so Dumpling says he kicked off the show.
Well, that was just because I just pushed the eject button because I'm tired of his name being Dumpling. No, I don't know.
He was asked to leave the lounge.
That's right, the bouncer lounge. Still 49 degrees here in Henderson.
47 in Atlanta.
Wow.
So yeah, the dishwasher filter. And then I also, because I was so motivated, I went and, that little spindle filter on the agitator of your clothes washing machine.
Oh, don't I? It's all I think about.
That's all. Okay, smarty. By the way, I did think about you today because I'm shopping for a new coffee maker. Oh. And you are the coffee. Between the two of us, you are.
No, really, because I'm on hold with being the coffee guy. The coffee machine I have right now is very simple. I love it because it has it's thermally, you just hold it. You don't have to put it on a heater. It holds the heat for like 4 hours, and the coffee doesn't turn.
And, so the carafe holds it warm. You do not need a warming plate, is what.
That's correct. So it won't burn, which is what I love.
Okay.
So I can make the pot of coffee and bring it upstairs and have it with me all morning because they've given me that mini fridge and the cup warmer. So I just have my whole coffee thing, so I have to keep going up and down the stairs. It's great. But like I said, not very complicated, simple on and off, and you get your basic things you can set. My next big coffee thing will be back when I go back into a super automatic espresso maker like the good old days. But we probably won't do that in this house.
I saw one the other day. It's commercial, but it was an espresso cappuccino maker for obviously restaurants. $23,000 to make coffee.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
but it looked gorgeous. It was all obviously stainless steel and copper and all these beautiful
metals,
all these
dials and stuff.
And it comes from Italy, of course. It's an Italian company, and boy, it looked cool. I suppose if I had truly Warren Buffett kind of money, okay, I'll give it a try. Like going down to Walmart and picking up a Mr. Coffee. It's the same for you and me.
Yeah,
it's kind of like that guy. What's his name? Gulman, the comedian.
Gary Gulman. Yeah.
Yeah. When he talks about finding a 20 in his pocket, he goes, it's really something. It changes your life. A $20 bill. He goes, how much money does Bill Gates have to find
right.
in his pocket
to have that same
to equal
feeling?
My joy of 20? And then he says, first of all, he won't even have a pocket. He'll probably be wearing the death shroud that Lincoln was assassinated in, which I thought that was a funny line.
I haven't heard from him in a long time, although I haven't been watching comedy in a long time. I mean, I haven't heard new stuff, so I used to listen to...
Yeah, Gaffigan used to bring us on every night on Saturday nights here when the lounge is 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific.
I know, I've really got... And now I have literally just dozens and dozens and dozens of voices, and it's just so much easier to do now with this voice AI thing I've got. That what I was using before... it just took longer, and now I should be able to crank these things out. And I always remember it when I fade to black, and it's like, oh God, that stupid Clinton thing again. What I should have done was anything. Yeah,
right. So the AI thing, because you were the first one to really get into it that I knew personally. I mean, I heard of it, but Bob embraced it immediately and loves it. And now they're doing all these reports on it and stories on it. Is that me? Is that my phone buzzing?
No, it's a little bird telling me that, oh man, if I had my ukulele right now, but I don't even have one anywhere near me. But we wanted to say a happy belated birthday to Jason.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry.
Happy belated.
I think it was like last week or something when we were doing our event. Anyway, I feel bad about that. Well, my daughter's birthday landed right in there too. Like Catherine's birthday was the last day of the event.
Well, I hope it was a great birthday, Jason, and I hope you have
that's
million. Right. May you live to be 1,000 years old, sir.
Well, he got himself an amazing clock.
Speaking of people that your birthdays and seeing people and everything, last Saturday, considering the fact that you had 14 people that you were entertaining and 9-course meals, it made it easier for me to go down to this. I don't want to. It was a remembrance, not a memorial per se, for Forrest.
Oh yeah,
and got to see a lot of the old crew, and it was wonderful.
Where was it?
It was literally across the street from our old radio station, the Building of Death. It was right, and as I'm driving down there, going, man, I don't miss this drive.
Yeah,
I do not miss this drive anymore. I did that drive for 30 years or whatever. But got to see some came in from Tennessee, like Nashville. Some came in from San Diego. Like this room, this tent, and Rachel paid for the whole shebang. She picked up the whole tab and open bar, and I thought, Forrest figures that this people would come literally, and it's just this little tent in the back of a crappy Mexican restaurant. But we used to go there for lunches, and it had nostalgia. And Rachel booked out this little party room in the back, and there was probably 40 or so people. And I thought, man, if this little room explodes, there will be a lot of dead air coming. This is some
a lot of broadcasters. Yeah.
I was in some high cotton, man. You don't go in there and brag about your broadcast chops. These people are good, and they're and got to see Allie. Hadn't seen Allie in 3 years or something. She and
really, it's been 3 years. How about that?
Yeah. Life goes on, man, and that's not
right.
like
long after the thrill of living is gone.
Oh my gosh, look what you did there.
I can't believe you didn't do it. But I guess that's my job.
I was drinking tea from the mug that you got me, the Fat Cat mug that Bob bought me many years ago. You went to the Chattanooga Aquarium.
Yeah, I used to have that big fish mug. In fact, I think I had 2 fish mugs that were about the same over the course of the years. You know what I'm talking about, don't you?
I do know what you're talking about.
I had these big ceramic fish mugs, and I still drink out of gigantic mugs that hold like 3 cups of coffee, but they're not shaped.
Yeah,
like
I'm starting to shop. In fact, I'm clearing out some of the glassware cabinetry that was totally devoted to alcohol consumption. And I said, okay, 3 years, long enough. We don't need 40 glasses to drink beer out of because we don't drink beer.
Right.
So I'm starting to kind of build up a tea/coffee mug thing, and I too 20-ounce minimum. Like these little 12-ounce cups, you barely get upstairs and the tea's done or the coffee's done or whatever. It's like gone. So yeah, I'm with you.
That's right. Well, that's why I like having the pot upstairs. It's really nice to have that there. I don't feel like I'm constantly going. I don't worry about it so much. But the problem is I drink too much coffee that way because it's right there. I don't need to
drink quite, I wouldn't say a lot, but you drink coffee rather frequently. I will say that.
Yeah.
Every day.
So show Amy it's Fat Cat. It's not a Fat Cat mug. It's named. Well, show it.
Okay, hold on. It says Fat Cat. Can you see? Am I doing that? Tennessee Aquarium. Chattanooga. Bob brought that back for me because I tended bar at a place called Fat Cat.
Right. Well, what's the picture though?
It is a like a catfish. Let's see if I'm. Oh, that's his ass. I think. Hold on.
Yeah. There you go.
Look at that clever mug.
Oh, so it's a fat catfish.
Yes. Right. It's a catfish.
I must have known that at some time. There's no way I didn't know that, but it's amazing the things you just put out of your brain.
Yeah. And you got this for me many, many years ago.
Yes. Yaren. Yes.
Yeah. Bob and I we have known each other for more than a week. That's for sure.
That's right. Because we've got at least 3 episodes of this thing under our belt.
When is the anniversary for the lounge?
I keep forgetting.
We've done this. We've asked this question before. Man.
I want to say August, but
so it'll be 2 years in August, I guess, right?
I suppose. Is that right? It seems like we were doing it before. Weren't we doing it before I moved here? Yes. So
yeah, I believe so. Because I remember you did a couple of impromptu lounges from the kitchen with your laptop because all your
cell server. That's right. I used all my cell data in one night
for the next 10 years.
That's right. It was like, okay, you're throttled
still
for life.
Sending him a bill, and he still can't get any data because he killed the internet. He killed all of it. Bob, it wasn't 5G when Bob was done. It was like whatever 2.5H or whatever. It was bad.
Guh.
So right. So it was. So how long have you been in the new dwelling? When was that?
Well, it's coming up on 2 years. It'll be 2 years in March.
Okay, so let's just call it as.
Well, maybe that's right. I don't know. Hell, I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and look at the archive again, and then I'm gonna have to put it up on a sticky note so I know.
But my dad is. Oh, look at Sammy's here. There you go.
My dad is the best. Thanks for all your help today. Sorry if I missed the chat. Oh, you did. You missed the whole thing. It was amazing too. But you missed
I wouldn't say amazing, but we got through it, you know. And remember, boys and girls,
it's Groundhog Day.
It's still just once a year, isn't it?
And with those words, I am the hell out of here. I've had enough of this foolishness. Thanks for nothing. They never paid me.
You've been watching The Lounge Show with Rob Scott and Bob Doyle. Join us every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, and tell your friends and family to do the same. After all, we'd do it for you if you had a show. Probably.
Are you employed, Mr. Lebowski?